All right, class, let's get started here. Topic, absolutism. Last time we talked about the western part of Europe. This time it's eastern. How did the rulers in Eastern Europe use absolutism? Overview, Eastern Europe. You've got the HOP, RAP, and that's an acronym, obviously. The Holy Roman Empire, the Ottoman Empire, and the Polish Kingdom all started to decline. And at the same time, you had the Russian, Austrian, and Prussian Empire all increasing. The three empires in decline could not maintain rule in such large areas, in such diverse situations. The three empires then started to increase. Eastern Europe, different than the West, absolutism was based on powerful nobility, weak middle class, and they oppressed the serfs. There was a threat of war in Eastern Europe, pushed the monarchs to consolidate power. So this war threat coming from originally from the Mongols, coming from Mongolia, and then other areas in the southern part of Asia, pushed these monarchs to consolidate their powers. Now, serfdom. Now, the Black Death created a shortage of labor in Europe. Kings passed laws that restrict peasants' rights. So the peasants at this time were really starting to be pushed into remaining on the land and in this constant cycle of birth and death and being bound to the land. Lords take peasants' lands, impose taxes, and these taxes then people would be so heavily burdened that they couldn't get out from under it. Poland, Russia, Prussia, serfdom consolidated 1500 to 1650. This helped increase agriculture. So when there was more serfs to work the land, the agriculture actually increased. Serfdom does not rise in Western Europe. So they didn't have this in Western Europe. It was strictly an Eastern Europe concept. Now, the Habsburg Empire, the Austrian Empire, the rise of the Habsburgs. Ineffective Habsburg rule in the old Holy Roman Empire forced rulers to turn attention inward to consolidate power. Now, Austria was not a national state, and when we were talking about a national state like France, England, or Spain, those were nationalistic states. The Austrian Empire was very different. It was a multinational state consisting of Germans, Italians, Czechs, Serbs, Croats, Romanians. There was quite a large number of people that consisted of the Austrian state. This made it hard to control. Some of the great leaders, Ferdinand II and Leopold I, Charles VI, were some of the great leaders of the Austrian. Now, we also had the rise of the Prussia. We had Frederick William, the Great Elector. He was a strict Calvinist. Sweden and Poland struggled for the Baltic Sea. He established Prussia as a great power, future unification for Germany. So remember, Germany was broken up into many different states, but it was the power of Prussia that actually forced many of the other states to abdicate and then form one solid Germany. Most powerful army in Europe, powerful industrial holdings along the Rhine River. Some of the other rulers in Prussia were the Junkers, nobles who formed the backbone of the Prussian military. Frederick I, 1688-1713, first king of Prussia, sought to imitate French absolutism. So he took the ideas of absolutism in France and applied them to Prussia. Frederick William I, 1713-40, soldier king, infused militarism into all Prussian society. So when we think about different societies and how they formed, the Prussian society was wholeheartedly all militaristic. It was the Sparta of the North, with the quotations. 80% of government resources, military. Military doubles in size. They were very, very efficient. Junkers, power in the army. This, ideas of the junk, that it was like a political group of nobles that just controlled everything. Now, Frederick II, 1740-86, he was an enlightened despot, most powerful of the Prussian kings, increased Prussian land, mandated many reforms, tried to modernize Prussia. Now, Russia, Mongols ruled Asia from the 1200s and were ruthless. Russian leaders used this leadership style. So as the Mongols had taken over most of Asia, their effects were felt in Russia. Muscovy began to emerge as the most significant area to lead Russia. Ivan III ended Mongol rule and established himself as the ruler of Muscovy, used the church and created a third Rome for the Orthodox Church. And then he used the church to help his power. Ivan IV, or Ivan the Terrible, 33 to 84, he was the first to take the title of Tsar or Caesar. So when they undertook the third Rome, the first was the actual Rome, second was Constantinople, and they wanted to make a third Rome out of Muscovy. The expanded Russian territory, huge areas, east, west, south. He began to modernize Moscow, encourage trade in the west. So Ivan the Terrible, he really started to put Russia on the map. The Romanov dynasty. The Romanov dynasty was the dynasty from 1613 all the way up until the revolution in 1917. Michael Romanov from 1613 to 45, rules expand border all the way to Pacific Ocean. Tried to continue to westernize country, but mostly it was agricultural. By 1689, though, Russia was the largest European country, 3 times the size of the entire European continent. So Russia was very, very large, but still not very modern and very agricultural. Now, Peter the Great, 1682 to 1725, and he's continued over here on our last board. Built up the military, greatest concern, 75% of the national budget on military, established military schools, Royal Army, 200,000 plus another 100,000 special forces. Russia's wars with Sweden, Russia gains Latvia and Estonia and access to the Baltic Sea. So they're constantly, pushing to the west, to the east, and to the Black Sea and to the south. Peter sends people to the west to learn to modernize his country. By the end of his reign, Russia outproduced England in iron. Peter tried to control the nobles with civil servants loyal to him, secret police, taxes, and turned Orthodox Church into a government department. So as you can see, Russia had some difficulties modernizing, and it wasn't until actually the revolution in the late 1800s, early 1900s that they were able to surpass this. So they had a difficult time all the way along. But nevertheless, you saw the increase in the powers of Russia, Austria, and Prussia. Those 3 countries really started to increase in power, while you had the Holy Roman Empire, the Ottoman Empire, and the Polish Kingdom starting to decline. All right, remember, history's no mystery. Take good notes.